My name's Carissa. This is my channel now. It's called CC's Corner. And I live in Michigan, but I recently moved here July 1st. Now, I get a lot of questions from a lot of my close friends asking why I moved. Well, that's kind of a hard story, but I'll tell it anyways. So, I moved to Michigan to live with my dad because my parents had split when I was like 4 or 3. I don't know. We ended up moving down to Florida, Miami, and we lived there. And then I started high school at Palmetto Senior High. My freshman year, it was okay, I guess. I made some good friends, as I guess you can say. But towards like the middle of the year, my condition at home wasn't going really well. I haven't always been like really close with my mom, so it was really hard to tell her anything that was like going on without her judging me or something. And so I got really stressed out with my mom, and I was taking this big AP class that was putting so much stress on me too. And so I couldn't handle it. I started doing things I wasn't supposed to, but in the end, I started getting into like some fights with my mom. She started like hitting me a lot, but she's would always hit me and my other sisters. So that was really hard for me to go through, especially I have an older sister, and she was like diagnosed with like bipolar disorder, I guess you can say. And she would get like hit a lot by my mom too. And then she started doing things that she wasn't supposed to. And so that took like a really big like effect on me because I've always looked up to her. And around the same time that I got into like all these like arguments with my mom and she started hitting me more, my older sister moved out. And when she moved out, everything started going downhill. I started like losing interest in all of my classes. I started failing all of my classes, skipping most of them, not going to any of them. And I guess you can say I wasn't in the best of places at the time. And so one day, during school, a couple days back, I was absent from school. So my mom started yelling at me saying, "Oh, you have to go fix the absence, or like don't bother coming home, or like you're gonna like something's gonna happen to you when you come home and it's not fixed." And I got really scared of that because I know the things that she can do, and I got really scared because I was always scared to go home. And so I go to the office and I ask, "Can you please fix it?" And they say no. And I'm walking to class because the bell had just rang. And as I'm walking right down the middle, I start breaking down in tears. I start crying my eyes out. And so my teacher sees me crying in class and he says, "Are you okay?" I say no. I go to the bathroom and my friend comes in, and she and me, we go to the assistant principal, and I start telling them everything that happened. And they ended up talking to one of the counselors, and through that they started calling DCF. At that point I got really scared because my mom has been called on DCF before, like 4 times from my older sister, but they honestly don't do anything. And for like the people that don't know, DCF is Department of Children and Families. Yeah. Basically, they're supposed to protect kids if they're going through something really bad at home, and they don't do that. Anyways, so DCF ended up coming like 4 hours later after school ended. And I told them, like, I don't want to go home. I'm scared to go home. I started crying, I started freaking out really bad. Like, I couldn't go home. And then this really, I wouldn't say mean, but like, she wasn't very understanding. And she says, "Well, if like we fix the absence, I don't understand why you would have a problem to going home. Like, there should be no problem. You shouldn't be scared." Obviously, she like doesn't know anything. Well, not anything, but like it's kind of hard for me to explain it. Anyways, they end up calling my mom, and I get super freaking scared. And they say, "Oh, Carissa's here. with the DCF, and they need you to come in and they need you to come and pick her up. And then she starts getting like, oh, why? What's wrong? They're like, oh, well, can you please come to the school and we'll explain everything. I'm scared to death because I didn't want to go home. I didn't want my mom there at all. And I didn't want her to know that I called DCF. And so my mom ends up coming to the school. I can tell that she has like this look saying, you're gonna regret what you just did. And I don't at all, what I did. And she gets really mad. She starts talking to like the DCF lady. And we get out of the school. And once I leave, we get in the car and we're driving like at least 5 minutes away from the school. And then she says, you have no idea what you just done. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, you're gonna regret what you did. To this day, I don't regret it at all. She says, do you really want to go move with your father? And I say, yes, I do. Because at this point, like, I've had enough with her. I really want to go live with my dad. I've been wanting to live with my dad since like they split up. I've never wanted to live with my mom. And so, I say, yes, I do. I really do want to go live with my dad. And she says, okay, fine. Well, you can leave whenever you want. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm not going to deal with your BS if you're going to put my family through all this shit again. And then I don't care. You can just leave. I don't care what happens to you. I have no more respect for you. And I'm like, okay, thanks. You know, very supportive mother I have. And so, my dad ends up flying down here. And I tell my mom, I was like, look, Mom, my dad's coming, and I'm gonna leave with him like Sunday when he was gonna leave. She's like, oh no, you're not. You're not gonna leave. When you're gonna stay and you're gonna finish school and you're gonna leave when I say you can leave. And that like got me really frustrated and confused because she said if I want to leave I can, but now she's saying I can't. And so she made me wait until the end of the school year to finish and to leave. And then once the school was finished, she didn't let me leave at all. And I told my dad that if she doesn't let me leave, like once June is finished, then that's it, I'm leaving. I don't care, I'll find my ticket myself. I don't care. And so I'm waiting and waiting, and then rolls around like the second to last week of June. And I was like, when are we ever gonna leave? Because like you said that I can leave. And so we end up getting a ticket July 1st. How ironic. And we end up getting a ticket from July 1st. So I left July 1st. And that day, I was really sad because like I left all my friends. I left all my childhood friends that I've known. But in the end, I know that like moving here and moving with my dad and my stepmom and now my little brother, it's gonna be like really good for me since I left because they would actually listen to me. I'm not afraid to come home. I'm not scared of them at all like I was with my mother. With my mother, I was terrified of her. I just didn't want to tell her anything. I had no connection with her at all. And she thought we did, but in reality, she knew nothing about me. And she always says, oh, I know everything about you. Like, no, we literally lost any connection we had once I was born and they cut the umbilical cord. But yeah, so now I live here in Michigan, well, Grand Rapids, Michigan, with my dad, my stepmom, my little brother. I'm starting school soon. I'm gonna start school at a charter school, which is really weird. Wellsprings Prep. That sounds fun. But I'm honestly really scared about that because I know nobody here. That's a lie. I know 2 people, but they don't go to the same school as me. But like I'm really scared because, you know, I just moved from one state that was all like tough and they all had attitude to a completely different state where everyone here is all chill and calm down and like nobody gives a fuck at all. But that's really scary. I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm honestly scared for my life, kind of, because got no one, and it's like a fresh start. But then again, it is a good thing. So that's it for my story as to why I left Florida and why I'm here now. And so make sure to, this is gonna sound like really cringy, but make sure to like and subscribe and comment. I think I'm gonna be doing more YouTube